Wow, hey everybody, this is LVAO Tour, the Fancy Action Now. Anybody that tuned in last night to my ridiculous live stream, I was just experimenting with some stuff and I deleted that crap. How you doing? Wow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run back to the live stream. I'm going to pop this freaky little chat out. I'm going to pop that shit out. And I actually did like a custom thumbnail for this. I didn't want to, but I did anyway, and it was just so much fun to make. So I'm playing Dread Out 2. But the subject of this video is EA is begging players to stop hating them, and Anthem is... Anthem next is Anthem not. This is a big deal. This is an important video, and I want to stress that. I want to stress that. That's why I pick up the mic and I put it up to my face, because it's important. Okay, this is an important video. Do you know why this is an important video? This is an important video because this is a victory for gamers everywhere. And I should even put that in the description of the video. So let's go back. We're going to go back into it. We're going to go back into it live. And we're going to say victory for gamers everywhere. Victory for gamers everywhere. Brr, brr, bunch of exclamation marks. Okay, boom. Okay, so this is a freaking victory for everyone. This is a freaking victory for gamers because EA. Okay, we're gonna go into the game. So let's see. Let's go into the game. Yeah. Oof. 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 I'm worried about the amount of sound coming out of that thing. Let's drop it down just a little bit. Okay. So I don't know what that's looking like. I don't know what that's looking like sound-wise. You can let me know in the chat if you happen to pop in. Uh-oh. Somebody hit my phone a minute ago. Hope they leave a message. So, at any rate, I'm going to pull up the chat on my channel. The big deal here is live on your channel, Anthem not, baby. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like the what do I want to say? So we're broadcasting just fine. I'm gonna play this. I guess I could sit here and play it like full screen, right? No, I'm gonna sit here and play it full screen, and you can see me, and it's all delicious and gorgeous. So this is Dread Out. I have never played this bad boy. I have never done a thing with this thing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. That's where the food goes, and that's where the poop comes out. All right, so essentially, EA has given what they would call a damage control apology to the gaming community. Let me go back here. They have basically given an apology to the gaming community and said, please forgive us. The live service model was wrong. Okay. You know, again, EA, you could have avoided all of this with a little bit of restraint. A little bit of restraint. Not a lot of restraint. A little restraint. I mean, you guys went... You have to understand the pendulum is going to swing the other way. We've abandoned Anthem. All right. The game is abandonware. Okay. This was your flagship BioWare Destiny clone. You're going up against Destiny with with Anthem. And you know what? To be honest, if Anthem was handled correctly, you could have done it. That's the shameful idea behind Anthem. You know, again, I got that laughing guy up there. I got Jay Jonah laughing. And I'm laughing too. But the real sad part is we missed out on a really, what could have been a franchise, a new, exciting, interesting franchise. All the concepts were there. The art was there. The basic foundation was there, and it needed to be fully realized. But, you know, part of it is what killed Anthem was mismanagement and greed. It's like the focus was just let's get another game out there that we can do live service nonsense. It was all just a vehicle. The games became a vehicle for a casino and for exploitative business practices. So the focus was off of the game. Again, the product is the game. It's not the live service. The product is the game. You took your eyes off the prize and began to say, well, the game is just a vehicle for us to do microtransactions, which it is not. Okay, the game itself is designed to generate enthusiasm that could be channeled into microtransactions. So you're not creating the excitement first. You're basically saying, hey, just start paying us money. We're going to interrupt the development cycle, because that's what they're doing. They interrupt the development cycle and have the game start funding itself prior to completion. Again, that's like buying a car and them telling you, well, you can come back and get the seats in 90 days if there's no delays from the factory. There's no seats? No, you can use a milk crate. Go ahead, just sit on a milk crate. Yeah, but this is a $30,000 vehicle. Okay. Listen, calm down. You like this vehicle, right? Yeah, I bought it. Well, we'll sit on a milk crate for 90 days. If there are no delays. Well, what do you mean if there are no delays? Oh, you mean if I drive my car back here after 90 days? Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't finish making the seats yet. We can give you one seat, but you have to pay $50 for it to be installed. But wait a minute, I paid the car. Yeah, well, that's fine. If you want the seats for free, you can wait another 90 days until they're ready, and then we'll put them all in for one fee. Well, I didn't know there was going to be another fee for that. Oh, yeah, sorry, man. You know, it's how business is done, bro. You know, I mean, it's like, it's freaking nobody would put up with that. But because it's software and it's a video game, and the gamers are, when they're in love with a franchise or they're excited about a new franchise, they start throwing money at it. And it's like, and these guys are like deluded but with what they could get in with. They literally, with EA literally, okay, EA literally, okay, let me just... Literally. Yeah, literally, baby. They literally were... what do I want to say? That it's like they disassociated. They were completely disassociated from making video games because FIFA was so successful with the microtransactions. It literally caused them to disassociate and say, we can just stamp this on every single game and we'll just continue to make market cap and we'll just continue to grow and people will just pay shit. You know what? Like, soccer fans are ravenous. They're ravenous, and they'll shill out a lot of money for their favorite team or their favorite player to build their team and have their groups and have their camaraderie and stuff like that. You can exploit that to the nth degree, and they'll come back for more every year. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's a thing. Okay, that's why FIFA worked, right? And basically all they did was stamp it on everything. They didn't even let games get completed, where they're like, we need another game out there generating microtransactional revenue. Okay, they just went too far off the cliff and they lost the Star Wars franchise over it. I mean, what a blunder. Do you think Disney Star Wars would have ever moved off of EA if they had showed a little restraint and was able to engender some enthusiasm over Battlefront 2? Battlefront 2 was a beautiful game. You know, and again, I play these Battlefront games, and like every time you go off the map, it's like you're off the map, you're off the map, you're off the map. It's a little irritating, but it's beautiful, it's fun, and if you're like a rabid Star Wars fan, you know, they're fun. The space battles are really cool. It's a great game. It's a great game, you know, and it's like, you know, some of the woke nonsense is what it is, but the story was, you know, pasted on. I mean, it was okay, but still it was a beautiful, you know, visually, you know, accurate version of the game. It was gorgeous. It played well. There's nothing wrong with it except for the greed, and it became a casino. Just like Y2K, just like, you know, WWE, just like, you know, NBA 2K, 2K20, you know, it's like, dude, you forgot what your core business was, which is making quality games that inspire people to want to purchase more. That's where the gaming industry, in terms of its level of restraint, but what should I say? Ability to download and update and things like that really peaked in 7th gen. It really peaked in 7th gen. It's like, you know, yes, there was DLC, yes, there was downloadables, you know, the Oblivion horse armor notwithstanding, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, but that's a good example. That's a good example of where that should be a case study in you kind of pissed people off, you kind of got greedy. I forget how much was that horse armor, $10 or $15 or some ridiculous amount of money for that, you know, for whatever. You're sitting on the horse, you don't even see the armor for the most part. You know, it's like you don't get much for it for the money they wanted, you know, and it was a little exploitative, something like that, right? So there you go. EA is literally, and this is why this is a victory, because EA got slapped down. They lost the Star Wars license, which is absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, freaking Ubisoft is eating their lunch over that shit. And they're going to handle it up. I mean, they're going to handle some shit, baby. They're going to handle some shit. So EA came out, they finally came out with, you know, Fallen Order. It's like, okay, here's a decent game, we're sorry. But that Battlefront 2 mess really left a bad taste in people's mouth. I mean, it's going to be a little while until like everybody forgets that shit, you know? So, you know, all I have to say is EA. Oh, and Anthem. Of course, Anthem was freaking shit canned because it was freaking abused. It's too late to save. You know, they did the business analysis. Like, if we spend a lot of money on Anthem, are we going to get new eyeballs? And they're looking at everything else that's coming out down the pike. It's a very crowded space. Video games has become an incredibly competitive, crowded space. And that's where EA, you had the competitive advantage, and you literally pissed it down a rat hole, baby. You threw it down a canyon, and it just went over the cliff in flames because you were stupid. You were greedy. That's why it's like a cardinal sin. That's why it's greed is spoke about in like Greek legends and Roman legends, and it's like the guy Crassus, you know, in the Roman legion led his legion to disaster because he was a greedy man. He was one of the richest men in Rome, but he also wanted to be a military hero. Being the richest man in Rome wasn't good enough for him. He had to go out and try to impress people that couldn't give a shit about him and become like a heroic general because he was jealous of Pompey and Julius Caesar, and he wound up getting an entire Roman legion slaughtered, including himself. He got himself beheaded on the battlefield. His name is Crassus, and that's where we get the word crass, because if you're crass, you're just like stupidly greedy. And again, greed is stupidity. Wealth is obtained from success and being successful at something, being the number one at something, or being extremely proficient at something. Wealth comes to you. So it's not a matter of how can we cheat people out of more money. It's how do we make the best possible product, and we will always be able to generate wealth. If you get greedy and you put a bitter taste into people's mouths, then you will lose money. And if you do it badly enough, you'll never be able to recapture it. I told EA years ago when my boycott BioWare and boycott Mass Effect Andromeda. It's my most popular video, and it's hilarious. Go watch it. Boycott Mass Effect Andromeda, because it is just a greedy, shit fest. It is just a shit show. And I told them that if they're not careful, they will be, and I told this to BioWare, you will be dragged down into the depths, and you will not emerge in the form that you are now, if at all. That's a direct quote. So here we are, where they're saying, please buy Dragon Age. Please don't judge us. So they've gone from being one of the most arrogant corporate overlords in gaming, telling us what we're doing, telling governments that they're wrong and we're right, telling the consumers to just shut up and pay our money, telling parents just, who cares about you? We don't care. It's not gambling. It's just because it's a casino in a box in your own home that never shuts off. It's open 24 hours a day. Think about that again. I mentioned that before. A casino, you actually have to get dressed, take money out of the bank, get in your car, go there, walk in, play the game that you want to play, order beverages. It's an exercise. It's an effort. Gambling and video games, you have a box in your house that's accessible 24 hours a day, that has been designed by psychologists to make you want to spend more and play more. Okay, that is absolutely insidious, and EA was at the vanguard. They were at the forefront of that. I mean, it's absolutely, again, how many articles from parents about kids that are on FIFA in Europe where they emptied out their bank account? They can't pay the mortgage, they can't pay the rent, they can't buy food because the kid spent all the money on FIFA Ultimate Team. It's a casino in your house that never turns off. It's 24-hour live access to a virtual casino designed to visually stimulate you, stimulate your serotonin, stimulate your adrenaline, and manipulate you to buy and spend money via microtransactions. Yeah, that's criminal. So what EA did was they drove it, and they should be happy that they got soft pedaled as it was. They got banned in certain countries, and right, and they got censured in others, and they lost the most lucrative license in the world of entertainment. Because you know what I liked about video games and Star Wars, even though the movies were complete shit, since like the second movie, maybe the third movie, like the original trilogy, it just really jumped the shark and just went in a weird direction. I was hoping it would go darker. I think they tried to do that in the most recent trilogy of movies, but just bizarre, ancient Carrie Fisher. They put that old Carrie Fisher. I'm like so sad. I'm like, come on, man, come on. But I didn't see value in the more recent movies. But if you have a good video game, you can go and enjoy that universe anyway. If the video game's good, that's where like the Force Unleashed. I mean, the first one. That's a great game. That's an awesome game that lets you, live in that universe, live in that reality for a little while, and just enjoy yourself, right? And it's freaking cool. It's old school cool, baby. But EA really screwed the pooch when they have to come out there and do damage control and admit they were wrong. Admit they were greedy, avarice bastards. Admit that they lost the Star Wars license. See, somebody in the corporate world of EA said we've been literally handed our ass in a hi-hat. We have to recapture our market. I mean, because think about it. I mean, Ubisoft overnight just became even more of a heavy hitter. Because they understand restraint. They understand, like what Disney Star Wars wants is they want Assassin's Creed Star Wars. They want the same, relatively quality game, the same, they want a yearly, every other year release. They want that regular revenue. They want the regular releases. They want the, create a formula and just recycle that formula, keep people happy, introduce new characters, introduce new settings, have the adventure, have the story, have a lot of busy work for the people to do, have some microtransactions, sure. But don't get stupid. Like, don't be stupid. It's probably in the contract too. Like you must have some kind of limiting factor here that before they even they gave EA, Disney Star Wars gave EA a free hand and they ran that shit off a fucking cliff. And you remember when Disney Star Wars came out and they were like, oh, we're happy with EA. Well, I guess they really weren't, were they? They were trying to do damage control until they could reconnoiter and see who would be a good. See, again, you have to understand that they had to respond. They supported their supported their contractual arrangement with EA and supported EA until they could find a replacement and line that up and get bids. I told you as soon as it was announced that Disney was addressing that and this was blowing up and they're like, well, we're happy with our provider. As soon as that happened, guys like me were pitching Disney Star Wars and saying, hey, hope that all works out with EA, but here's what we can do. Here's our market cap, and this is some initial ideas of what we're thinking about a game, how we're going to restrain ourselves with the microtransactions. We want an incremental revenue, but we're going to do it in a disciplined way, and here's our plan. And Disney, if they put together a nice proposal, Disney Star Wars is like, okay, let's have a look at it. Come and do a presentation for us. All right, okay. Don't say anything. You're now under non-disclosure. That's what happens. Everybody gets under a non-disclosure. They go and do a pitch. And if they knock it out of the park, which obviously Ubisoft did. See, the problem with EA is there are other companies. There's not that many of them. But there are other companies that can do as good a job as EA in developing and publishing video games. You're not the only person that develops and publishes video games, EA. And you just found that out. You just found out that, it's an American license. Not that that's that big of a deal, but it's an American license. EA, you were an American video game development company. And now Ubisoft, which is a European company, now they've got that license. Because you were stupid and greedy. Show some frickin' restraint. I mean, I can't fucking believe it. I can't believe you lost. You're shitbagging Anthem, and all you did was stump that thing forever. And I knew after fourth quarter it was done. It was done. February is the month of death. It's like when you kill off everything that's not making money, because everybody's kind of doing end of year January. If it's really terrible, it's canceled January. If it's really, really bad, if anything's canceled in January, it is a complete and total train wreck. But it's usually February where everybody kind of looks around, takes a breath, say, okay, we're back to doing our jobs. Let's take a look. Okay, let's look at the revenues. Let's look at, let's do the analysis. Usually you'll do the analysis in January and then you cancel it in February. February is just like the get rid of it and let's look toward, third and fourth quarter of this year and what we have going on and get rid of anything that ain't working for you. So I wanted to compliment Young Yeah. Young Yeah has been on top of this the whole time, right along with me. I've been in and out of it, but, I appreciate Young Yeah's coverage of some of these topics. And a lot of these topics, his coverage is helpful to the gaming community and gamers in general. So a little shout out to Young Yeah. Good job, buddy. Good job. And Young Yeah is a good channel. You should subscribe to his channel if you don't subscribe to his channel. He's an actual game journalist, so we'd love to see that. He does a really good job. So I'm gonna get off of this and get on with my life. Maybe play a little Dread Out, maybe not, and we'll go from there. All right, brother. All right, peace out. I want to hear some comments in the on this video about what you think about EA, what you think about Dragon Age 4. Couldn't care less about that thing. I've never been a Dragon Age fan. I tried to play the first one, didn't really get into it. Like Knights of the Old Republic, I like that. Even like Jade Empire, didn't really click with Jade Empire. Knights of the Old Republic, I thought was really good. I like that game. I enjoyed that. But that kind of like far away third person thing, it just don't really like it. And Dragon Age, I played it for a little while, and I could see why people like it. Like I understand why people like Dragon Age, but it's just the gameplay. It just didn't turn me on. It just was like, Same thing with The Witcher. It's kind of reminds me of The Witcher. The Witcher games are okay. The atmosphere and the writing and things like that, it's okay. But I think it's the perspective. I really do. I think it's weird that that's the case. But like, top down, far away from the character. I like the FPS, you are the character kind of thing. Or the over-the-shoulder third person. That kind of thing. A little bit more like closer to the player. You know what I mean? That's me. Like this is like you're closer to the player. You almost feel like you're a companion to the player. Or if it's first person, you feel like you are the player. So, or you are the player, but you are the character. So that's kind of my thing. It's like Dragon Age has never been my taste. There are rabid Dragon Age fans that totally get it. I think it's great that you can screw each other, and have sex with, characters in there. Great, that's a BioWare hallmark, and Mass Effect, like the original Mass Effect trilogy. I like that. I like the gameplay of that. It's very similar to Dragon Age and such, but I prefer Mass Effect. I love that. I play through that on a routine. So, all right. So this is LVO Tour of the Fancy Action Now. I'm your host. This is the channel, and the video today was Anthem not. EA begs us to stop hating.